And welcome back. The Moxie Cinema, located in downtown Springfield, is always showing an array of amazing films. And joining me now from the Moxie is my friend Mike Stevens. Mike, how are you?
I am fantastic, thank you.
Of course, I always love having you here. So we've got three really cool films that we want to talk about that are showing in November over at the Moxies. So this first one, is it Banshees of Inisherin?
Inisherin.
Okay, this one is really fascinating, so tell me about it.
So it is by Martin McDonagh, who's an Irish playwright turned director. He did 3 billboards outside Ebbings, Missouri.
Oh, very good film, yeah.
So it stars Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson as two friends living off of the west coast of Ireland on the named island Inisherin. And one day, Colm, who's played by Brendan Gleeson, decides to cut off their relationship.
Yeah.
Set in 1923, beautifully shot, just really highlighting the beauty of Western Ireland, but also a kind of, I don't quite know how to describe it. It's kind of a dark comedy. Those two were in a movie called In Bruges quite a while ago, minor hit. And they capture some of that same movie magic, the tension between Colm's kind of handsome transparency and Colin Farrell's handsome transparency and Brendan Gleeson's kind of broodingness. So Brendan breaks off this relationship, and it's just kind of considering what happens when relationships fall apart. He doesn't explain it. It's Martin McDonagh, so it's also gory. He threatens to cut off his fingers if he keeps talking to him.
Yeah. So that whole concept is really intriguing as a movie viewer to me. So that idea of like broken or damaged relationships. So for people that maybe have experienced that or maybe going through that right now, like, how are they going to feel about this film?
I think it might be rough for them to watch, honestly, because it's really, that's all it's concentrating on.
Okay.
I think it might be helpful, I mean, kind of therapeutic in the sense of it's focusing on these different shades and nuances of why he would do this, and also the damage that it caused to both of them, honestly.
Yeah, well, and it's so interesting, because broken relationships are unfortunately kind of just a part of that cycle of life, and we all deal with it. So the last thing I want to say about this film is that Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, is that what you said? People have really been kind of hyping up that duo, right? Because people are pretty excited that they're back in a film together.
Yeah, and they're super charming. They've been doing the late night circuit, and they just play well off together. Total Irishmen, so it's just fun hearing them talk.
Yeah.
Let alone if they're funny.
Yeah,
so
good dynamic overall. All right, so another movie this month is Age of Innocence. Now, something to note about this is a part of the Moxie's B-side series. So tell me about the film, and then tell me about this series.
So this is Martin Scorsese's 1993 adaptation of the Edith Wharton novel of the same name, and it's set in 1870s high society New York City, which is very much not what you think of when you think of Martin Scorsese, which is kind of what the series is about. And it stars just 3 huge actors, Daniel Day-Lewis, Winona Ryder, and Michelle Pfeiffer, and they're in a love triangle. And it's using obviously the source material to push Scorsese away from the kind of gangster and gunfights and more towards psychological nuance, which he does in all his films.
Right.
But more buttoned up and about decorum and manners and this certain time and place, as well as this relationship that's kind of one's falling apart and one's developing.
Yeah, absolutely. Now tell me a little bit about the B-side series.
So we wanted to showcase great American directors' lesser-known films.
Okay.
So for Quentin Tarantino, we did Jackie Brown, which is based on an Elmore Leonard novel. Steven Spielberg's The Color Purple, and the Coen brothers, The Man Who Wasn't There with Billy Bob Thornton, black and white film.
Ooh, that sounds really interesting, and I think there's some people in the area that would really enjoy that. So, all right, the last one, and this is also very interesting to me, so Decision to Leave. This is an international film, so what do I need to know about it?
So it is a Korean language film by Park Chan-wook, who's the director that brought us Old Boy.
Okay.
Old Boy is incredibly violent, this less so. This is more of a thriller / mystery that just puts you in media res, just right in the action. You're on a mountaintop and somebody has fallen, and you kind of decide, we're trying to figure out, was he pushed or did he jump?
Okay.
And immediately this detective falls in love or is enamored of the man's wife, who's also suspect number 1.
Yeah.
Kind of classic noir setup.
Right.
But being the director that he is, he doesn't subvert it as much as disorient you completely and kind of, it's still very much a mystery, Hitchcockian mystery, but also kind of fractures the timeline a little bit, so
Yeah.
you're disoriented,
Okay.
very much like the detective himself.
Yeah. Now, briefly tell me, for fans of like mystery or thriller, what are they going to really enjoy about this film?
I think that you won't actually know what's going on.
Okay.
Like, that it's actually mysterious, and that you're not going to figure it out.
Yeah.
which is tough to do, right?
Yeah, but that's exciting too, because it's going to keep you like on the edge of your seat. So that's really cool. All right, Mike. Well, if people want more information from the Moxie, where can they go to get that?
MoxieCinema.com is always the best place.
All right, lots of awesome films always showing over at the Moxie. Thank you, Mike, so much. And go check out a film at the Moxie that you wouldn't normally see. We'll be right back.